quick panel discussion about possible career fields, hopefully some of which you're interested in. We have a wide spectrum of careers. We'd like to give you an honest perception or perspective of where they came from, how they got there, some of the successes within their field, and some of the obstacles maybe they've overcome to hopefully as you guys are working through college applications and all of that, they can give you some insight into some career fields. So we're going to start with Mr. Hall here. He's going to introduce himself, give some background, what he does, what industry he's in, and kind of the path that he went on.
I'm a private practice marriage and family therapist, licensed for 25 years, practicing here in Marietta. I work with marriages and families when there's family problems to try to improve relationships.
My name is Jeff Weens. I'm one of the owners and the general manager of Weens Family Cellars. We grow a lot of grapes here in the valley and make wine and a little bit of beer as well. And we employ a whole bunch of family members, probably a dozen. And it's a great area to be in. My education, I started out when I was your age, I wanted to be a rock star, so I had the hairdo and all that stuff and did it for about 10 years. It was fun, but I was tired of being broke, so I went to college and for electronics, and then I ended up later getting a job in aerospace. Then went on to get my bachelor's in industrial technology, which is industrial management. And then did that for 15 years or so, and then started my own business, which is, of course, the winery. And always did a lot of growing, and so it's natural to be a farmer and business owner and all that stuff. So it's a great business to be in, and glad to be here.
My name's John Pratt. Actually, just like Mr. Bean over there, I am an employee of the school district here. I'm the district's senior systems engineer, so I run all of the technology infrastructure for the district, including here at Vista Murrieta. My educational background is in computer science, so I'll kind of represent both what it's like working in computer science and related fields as well as educational industry.
I'm John Blasky. I'm a structural engineer for Northrop Grumman Corporation. I'm responsible for helping design and analyze aircraft that can fly by themselves without humans in them. Before that, I was a United States Marine artilleryman, and I graduated from Vista Murrieta.
Good morning, my name is Riley Cox. I graduated from Murrieta Mesa in 2013. I went to Grand Canyon University. Yes, I know the boos out there.
No boos, just one clap.
Yeah,
one nice little quiet
It's all good.
clap.
It's all good. It's all good. Then I went to GCU, got a degree in sports management, and now I work for the Upper Deck Company, and some of you guys may know the trading cards that they have with them. I send the cards out to the athletes. I give direct connection with the athletes and their agents, and I travel all around the country and the world to go meet with them and have them sign things. So we have a connection with LeBron James, so it's kind of cool.
It's fun.
So.
My name is Gina Ciaz. I'm a licensed clinical social worker with the Temecula Valley Unified School District. I'm housed at Rancho Vista High School, which is a continuation school there. So I constantly work with high schoolers all day long, crisis, family issues, life, trying to get them back on their path and graduated. And I also teach for USC in their master's program for social workers.
Good morning, my name is Mary Wright, and I am a nursing director at Trinity Health Academy in Marietta. I am also a nurse practitioner. I have served in the Army for 13 years as a United States Army Nurse Corps officer. I also enroll CNA students at our school in Marietta to jumpstart your nursing career or your medical career. I have also taught EMT, pre-trauma nursing, combat lifesaver, I have taught at MSJC 10 years, Maricosta College 18 years, and then I decided to become a business owner and started my own nursing school. So I wanted to be here today to inspire all of you to be the best that you can be, put one foot in front of the other, regardless of what obstacles, stay focused. And you are seniors, and all of you should have some sort of passion about the direction that you want to go in. If you don't, talk to your teachers, talk to your counselors, and you can also ask questions about my profession a little bit later. But I wanted to welcome all of you to your career day. Thank you.
I'll start by saying good morning, Broncos. And I can say that because I'm one of you. I was one of the founding principals of Vista Marietta High School in 2003. I'm happy to be always happy to be back at Vista. 36 years as a public school teacher, and my last 18 years I spent here in Marietta as a school administrator, and then later as a director at the district level, and then I retired in June as an assistant superintendent. So I'm happy to be among you today.
I think it's important as seniors are looking to pick a major, pick a college, go on a career path, for you guys who are working out in the industry to identify to them for your particular field what specific skills, training, background is important for success in your guys' particular field. So you guys can just kind of round robin and choose to speak.
Well, I would just say a word. As I said, I was a high school English teacher for a great number of years, and then a school site administrator. So there's that transition. That's almost a natural transition if you're going to do something outside of the classroom. But then I found myself at the district office in human resources, and that was never a part of my game plan of what I thought I would want to do in life. But in that capacity, I did the work of hiring the employees for the school district. Not just the teachers that I hired when we were here at Vista, but everybody from bus drivers to custodians to those who work in IT and all the teachers and everybody in between. And what I can say is a universal skill, and I think it's been spoken of over the course of the morning, but communications, being able to communicate both orally and in written language is just something that cannot be replaced by even the new technologies that y'all deal with today. You have to think about, how do I express who I am in a form that I don't even know is going to exist. But probably more likely than not, to get into that space, to be in a social worker, a nurse, or any number of professions, you're going to have an interview. And in that interview, you're going to have to express who you are, be able to articulate clearly who you are, and convince a panel of people that they need to hire you instead of that person you just left out in the foyer. So I think, in a word, that is something that is kind of universal across all of the different professions that are coming to you this morning. Growing and knowing. And so I'm putting a shout out to your English teachers, because they're the ones that can help prepare you for that specifically, although all of your teachers across the board play a role in some way in growing those skills. All right?
Others? Skills for your particular field?
I want to say, in nursing, you have to be very flexible, compassionate about what you do. Even when you start out on the lowest level, you will rise to the top. don't always look at the pay. Sometimes nursing can be feel like a selfless service. But you still have to keep smiling. I've always delivered nursing care for 30 years with a smile. Left my problems at the door because they were waiting for me when I got off work. So I never would bring in problems to work. You should always look, how can I make a difference in someone else's life? Because lives are in your hands. You have family members that are depending on you. So when you are in college, learn all that you can, make the best grades that you can, get with study groups. It's okay to be different. It's okay to miss parties, because you'll be able to do all of those things when you graduate. But you still have to uphold the profession. It is a profession that it's highly regarded, and you should always be dedicated, loyal to it. I decided to start out as a CNA, and I think that is the best nurses are CNAs first. CNAs, any of you know what CNAs are or what they do? Anybody? Okay, so a nursing assistant, you do basic nursing care, and at the school where I am a nursing director, we enroll nursing assistant students to start your medical career. It's the perfect place to start, because we also will have you do externship, where you will go to clinical and take care of patients. You're going to bathe patients, feed patients, and start out on that level. After successfully completing the 30-day program as a nursing assistant, you will take a competency test, which will lead to the next part of your journey, because life is a journey. So right now, all of you are seniors. You are embarking upon making a difference in someone else's life, regardless of what profession you choose. You are our next generation of leaders. So make an impact. Each day, ask yourself, how can I be better? So if there's any questions about starting out in the career, I will take questions when the time comes. Thank you.
Okay, so everyone here is a senior, so I want to try and get a little bit more specific, because this is it next year. How many of you guys are already 18? Okay. How many of you have a job right now? Okay, now keep your hand up if to get that job you did an interview. Okay, so about half. Okay, so something that Mrs. Wilson mentioned, interviewing is a skill. It's separate from the job that you're applying for and the industry that you're applying for, but it is a skill like anything else that you build over time. I've had the opportunity now to sit on easily over 100 interview panels, interviewed hundreds of candidates, and something to remember is that typically you don't know the people that are interviewing you. Okay, so it's kind of your one shot to try and make a good impression. And it's not always the most skilled person that gets a job. Often it's drive and potential. So think about that. It's always kind of a nerve-wracking thing to be on an interview panel. It seems like most of you haven't, or be on an interview. And don't be afraid to think through the questions and think out loud. That actually gives the people interviewing you some exposure to your thought process. So anyway, it's kind of specific, but I wanted to mention that for the seniors.
Anybody else? Advice on how to get skills needed for your success in your field?
After 3 of these, we've all pretty much agreed that communication skills are critical. Your writing skills, your public speaking skills, your ability to express yourself. Really want to encourage you to pay attention in those classes. As a therapist, you have to keep secrets. You have to encourage people to share their secrets. Can you do that? You have to be able to believe people can change, that people can grow, that they're not stuck. You have to believe that people have a story, and you have to be interested in their story. So you have to care about people. If you only care about yourself, I don't suggest you take the job. You need to be interested in helping people get where they want to go. Tom Landry, a famous football coach, said the job of a coach is to get athletes to do what they don't want to do in order to achieve what they always have wanted. So a therapist is trying to help you get someplace that you've come in and said, I have a problem, I have an issue, I want to change in my life. And therapist comes along and tries to help you do that. And then I get out of your life. You run your life. You have your show. But it's only a little while. It's a good career for people who want to have flexibility. It's not a good career at 24 years old. You don't have enough life experience. You need to go out and live some life. Have a few other jobs maybe and find it later in life. If your therapy is a field dominated, in California at least, probably 75% female. A lot of women can raise their kids, have the flexibility, really make a difference and help people, but also get to be involved with your family. So it's a great career for that.
Thank you. Can you guys, thanks. Can you guys tell us probably the greatest, we're good. Thank you for being respectful. Can you guys tell us probably the greatest passion or greatest benefit of your particular career? What you love about your job? What you love doing? Maybe.
I could start. When I got out of high school, I joined the Marines. I wanted to kind of make a difference, see the world. But as my current job as a structural engineer, I'm responsible for design of these aircraft that support guys that are out doing things that we don't want to do to make sure that we have freedoms. And at least with my job, I can take that personal satisfaction that I've signed off on parts of an aircraft or all that stuff that, I know that whoever that aircraft is supporting, that they're going to be all right. And, I take a lot of pride in that when when I'm doing my work. And, like I said, I used to be on the field and I used to use all that equipment and to be part of the process that makes sure that, our military comes back alive and safe and supports them. That's, I take a lot of pride in that. And yeah.
Okay. Somebody else? What do you love? Don't all speak at once. Hopefully you love what you do.
The biggest benefit of working for Upper Deck and working for the sports is that was my passion and still is my passion, of course, when I was sitting in your guys' chair my senior year. Is there a sports management class in here right now? No, I know that you guys have one on campus here because I've gone and talked there. And that class is what changed my life. And that's why I went to GCU, got my sports management degree, and sitting in class, going to class, and enjoying class, and giving up my Friday and Saturday nights to actually learn and get my education is why I'm enjoying the benefits of my current job. And going and meeting athletes is something that everybody here who is a sports fan dreams of meeting. Everybody goes to the game early to get their autograph, to shake their hand, will go to their practice facilities just to watch them play. And I get to do that while getting paid. So that's my, kind of to go with the advice, is that you get to live the benefits if you enjoy your college time with going to class, getting the extra tutoring that you need, going and staying late if you need to, and also right here as seniors, not taking for granted your senior year. This is it. You will be graduating. You will be on a different kind of pathway as soon as you graduate. Enjoy your senior year, but right now go and also know that your passion is in your gut. I know you guys have it, and know that you guys just go and try and find it, and then you guys go and find your college that you guys want to go to, and then try and find a degree that you guys want to, pursue. It's exactly what I did. I did the traditional way, but the biggest thing is now I get to enjoy the benefits because I took advantage of what was given to me in my high school and my college days.
Thank you.
So I work with juniors and seniors at the continuation school, and most of our juniors and seniors are there because I always say life got in the way. It's not that they're bad kids. It's not that they're the throwaways. Life got in the way. And what I do there is get them back on their path, help them find their way again, and get them graduated. So for me, the biggest benefit is graduation day. When we can say, oh my gosh, we saved these 50 kids, so let's put a small number, we saved these 50 kids from dropping out of school. and you know that graduation is probably one of the first steps into your adult life. If you don't do that, kind of messes up everything else. You have to do this to get to there. So for me, that is my greatest, that is the greatest part of my job, is just seeing that those kids, you know, we built up their resiliency, we got them through the hard part, and we got them back on their way again, and that they're going to be okay.
So, thank you. We talk about all the great things about your career, the things that you like. What would be your advice and or explanation of the reality of your job? What are the stressors? What are the challenges to get the job and or within the job that you guys deal with every day?
Well, I want to say, as a floor nurse, if some of you are planning on becoming nurses, you definitely have to dedicate yourself, but have some flexibility. Sometimes you're going to take care of 20 patients. You may have 10 that are not doing so well, but you have to prioritize and still offer service with a smile. You will sometimes be short-staffed, but at the same time, your patients don't need to know that you are short-staffed. You still will continue to put one foot in front of the other and, you know, take good care of the patients and work as a team. It's teamwork. We're all on the same team. Even if it's not your patient, you should never say, it's not my patient, so I'm not going to worry about what the problems that patient is having at this moment. Go to the nurse that is on the floor with you and see how you can help make a difference. But to start out, if you are interested, most of you that are interested in nursing, you're going to find out that starting at the lowest level, which is the nursing assistant, is one of the prerequisites, or it's highly looked upon or preferred when you do apply for a nursing program, or even to become a medical doctor. We have students that are taking the nursing assistant program, which I do enroll students into the program. I meet with all of the students initially, because the 100 clinical hours, which is your externship, counts towards hands-on for to become a medical doctor or a physician assistant. I'm a nurse practitioner, but like I said, I started out as a CNA and climbed the ladder to become an LVN, an RN. I went to University of Phoenix for my bachelor's and master's in nursing, and then I became a family nurse practitioner 6 years ago. So I went back to school with 5 sons, and but I was certainly dedicated in what I did. I also did hospice nursing. Some of you might be interested in people that are dying, death and dying. You have to have a heart for it, compassion. You got to get up in the middle of the night like I did. Some areas weren't as you know, good areas, and you would certainly be very cautious, but at the same time, I wanted to make a difference in how they passed away, take care of the family members, always ensure that quality of life is key when you are providing nursing or medical services. So I want to say that whatever your compassion is, whatever it is that's in your heart to become, because you are seniors and you are embarking upon your journey to becoming whatever it is that's in your mind to do it well. Don't give up, regardless of the struggle. Quitting should never be an option. So talk with your counselors, talk with your teachers, talk with your leaders. I'm a veteran in nursing, and I'm also an Army veteran, but at the same time, I inspire and mentor our students at Trinity Health Academy. So if you have questions about it, please ask. Thank you.
Other obstacles, other things that you know are relevant. Go ahead.
We're talking about stresses in the job, right? Or stress. So
stressors, obstacles, the reality
usually,
of what it is to do what you do every day.
So usually the stresses are due to some overbearing needs, like there's too many things you need to get done, or there's some problems that crop up when you're trying to get other things done. And typically that is handled as what she said about prioritizing. And so you need to try to figure out what all these things you need to get done and prioritize them, and then just focus on those top one or two items. So just focus on the number one thing. What's the most important thing I need to get done today? And that will, if you can focus on those things, that'll get rid of a lot of that stress because you'll be making progress and you'll feel good about getting things done. So really that relieves a lot of stress when you can do that. So
Thank you. Anybody else? Obstacles, issues, concerns?
This might be a somewhat obscure example, but since you're all seniors, you were probably here last year. Some of you may remember the wireless difficulties that we had for Wi-Fi on the campus. That little thing up there with green lights on it, those are the wireless access points in the district. One of the things that I'm responsible for, there's roughly 2,000 out there. If you're interested in the science and technology realm, you'll often deal with problems that have very long arcs, okay? We discovered an issue, which was found here, because there's 3,600 roughly Broncos, right? So you guys put a very heavy load on wireless. And a bug was ultimately discovered, and it was about a 4 to 5 month process with Hewlett-Packard to identify fault domains and work through that problem with them. So sometimes your challenges, especially in science and technology, John may be able to speak to this as well, challenges and rewards are almost interchangeable. I mean, they're very challenging things and problems that you'll work on, and sometimes you're the only person that knows, you know, the entire narrative of one of those problems, but it can be both challenging and rewarding to kind of see those problems all the way through the end. It can be weeks, months, or even years.
It sounds like a common obstacle that I think as young people we need to adapt to is time. All of these things, they all kind of mention to become what you want to become sometimes isn't a quick journey. And I think we all love immediate success. We all like easy success. What's the best path to get there the quickest to get me where I want to go? And I think all of them have talked about a journey over time and that you're going to stumble. You're going to fail, you're going to run into problems, but it's a matter of how do I stay on that path to get where I want to go. If you're solving technology, I know Mr. Pratt and I, we deal with stuff and we can't solve it for months. It's not like a day solution, it takes time, so you have to be patient and you have to be committed. And I think all of their careers, I mean, if Mr. Hall's working with a patient, it's not a one visit thing. It's an over time working through. So as you guys embark on that next journey, realize that immediacy that we all love, okay, the Instagram, the Snapchat, the right now, here it is, the reality is things take a lot of time. And the people who are gritty, the people that persevere and that stay on that track, that's where success comes from. So I think that's good advice from all the panels. Do you guys have specific questions about nursing, engineering, you know, family therapy, IT, anything like that you'd like to ask them before we adjourn? Yes. I'll repeat. Go on, Kara. Okay, so what she said is you mentioned that you had a lot of life experiences leading up to your move into marriage and family counseling. What were some of those things that helped build the experience for that field?
I was an English major at UC Santa Barbara, which I recommend to all of you. And then I was a teacher for a few years. I was a landscape gardener for a few years. I was a church pastor for a few years. And then by 30, I decided what I wanted to do to go back to graduate school to be a marriage and family therapist. So again, in my profession, if you're 24 and just out of school, just out of graduate school, there's only a limited amount of people that are going to listen to you in terms of your earned credibility about life. You have ascribed credibility, that's the degree you have on the wall. Earned credibility is, do you know what you're talking about? 24-year-olds trying to help 40-year-olds raise their teenagers don't have a lot of earned credibility. So you need to have some life experience in order to do that.
Very good. Other questions? Yes. As you tried to settle into a career, yeah, what were some of your internal motivations or external motivations that kept you on your path to get to your career?
Is it me?
Anyone. Any of you, what kept you motivated? What kept you, because we did mention there are obstacles along the way. So what kept you motivated externally or internally to reach your goals?
So there's a lot of misconception about going into engineering. A lot of the students or a lot of the people that I went to school with wanted to be engineers. That's great. It's fine and dandy. We started in the class of 140, 150 aerospace engineering majors, and after 4 years, there were only about 40 of us that were left, and even a smaller percentage that actually got jobs. So to kind of go on that, once you have your degree, that's not just like, oh, I have a degree, I can get a job, at least in engineering. Starting early, if you want to go down that path, networking, going to, getting your foot in the door early on is a lot. That's kind of what has helped me, at least, get to where I'm at today. It's not just, hey, the job's not going to get handed to you. You have to put in the hard work, put in your hours, you have to have a passion for what you do. And I mean, like, between me and all the other people up here, like, I love going to my job. I get to build aircraft that fly themselves. It's super cool. Like, every day I wake up to go to work, and it's awesome. Yeah.
I think that common theme that I've been with them all day is loving what you do, and you have to be motivated enough not to let little things get in the way. Little things being, I think Riley mentioned, he wakes up at 3:30 in the morning. He gets to travel the world and meet celebrities and do all that stuff, but he gets up at 3:30 in the morning a lot to go into his job. So you have to find that passion, that perseverance, and making connections. The other thing is, as you guys are embarking off to college, get involved on your campus. Get involved in networks, engineering networks, nursing networks, IT networks, whatever it is, business, because those connections that you make, in many cases, are going to lead to the jobs that you get. And I told the group earlier, my degree's in organizational business management. And the first job I ever got was because of an internship I had when I was at Cal State Fullerton. I started there. I did a good job in my unpaid, free labor intern job that as a college student, I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm working for free. Until I graduated, and then they offered me a nice paying salary job. So it's about making those connections, and you never know when you're going to make that first impression. Ms. Wilson talked about the interviewing skills. Mr. Pratt talked about it. That's a skill that all of you can develop from your confidence, is how do you carry yourself? How do you present yourself? You will never know when you're going to make that first impression to get the job that could lead to your career, that could lead to all the things that you want to accomplish. So I'd like to thank our panel for coming in. As you guys are dismissed, if you have a quick personal question you want to ask one of them about their path, you can do that, and then you need to go back with your teachers. Thank you, guys.